hands, and past it you hear a cry, like a child being born, and your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it, the grinding of ancient machines of stone, rock, and metal, grinding and turning until all around you feels as if it's burning, sinking into the shadows of the earth, beneath the ground, the only place where a spirit might find refuge. I have this terrible feeling that, so a similar occurrence happened to me years ago. I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and my cleric, my priest, my healer, that was all of those words wrapped in one, cleric, got killed by like a 10-foot sword. Healer, bad feeling. When your vision clears, you see Durance, his hands clutching the staff, and his eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly, brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls, a bellowing, horrid howl, like a wounded animal, and sweat pours down his brow. We can see that justice is served to her and Woodica both.
To think I served her, I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Woodica's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire and war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me. For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
Let's continue on. Ding. What did I want? I wanted that interrupt. Yeah. Durance's story is so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. You stand once again before the shrine of Galawain, and yeah, let's pray. I come to seek Galawain's favor. Something is watching you. Howl back. Something jumps from the bushes. We're on our back. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent. Starting at your shoulder and proceeding down the length of your arm, you follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue as red and meaty as a steak lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you, and as it fixes you with its glowing eyes, its muzzle retreats into a long, bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of its head. What was a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds a flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a row of long, pointed teeth. That's one way to make an introduction, I suppose.
The lioness reigns still, and soon her cubs will rise. Why did you strike the bear down?
The lioness had found an advantage and held it. Her cunning made her the more deserving champion. Ooh, if Oranos could not seize his victory, he did not deserve it. Ah, those are all great. I don't really like the second one. No, I don't care about legacy. So really, it's like arguing the same point either. So she had an advantage and she held it, or the guy, the bear, was like, he couldn't seize his victory, so he didn't deserve it. I like that one. It fits the lore for the god more. He did not deserve it.
Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs of steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Some of them look real soft, but I bet I could tame one or two. As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of the bears can only reach his browned and muscle-knotted shoulders. You stand mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you. I hope so.
You sought and won the favor of Galawain. What new prey do you now pursue?
I must stop Theos ex Arcanon from feeding thousands of souls to Woodica. A sudden blast of heat scalds your face, and even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Galawain.
So you know. No doubt one of the others has already enlisted you, and with a different purpose. Nevertheless, hear us.
Okay, so this is Mogren talking to us.
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
Abaddon? Gears whir and clank as Abaddon gives you a slow nod. And if you believe you are free to make that decision how you wish it, you have not been listening to our conversations along the road.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
Why would I feed the lost soul's essence to the rest of Deerwood? So it's like now so it's a lot of this is deciding what to do with the souls. Helia wanted us to put them back. Galawain wants us to just release them.
To breed strength, power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
I want to know what she's going on about. Like, because of Durance, I don't trust her.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Deerwood.
If Woodica can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory. The bear at Galawain's side rises on its hind legs and roars. It falls back on all fours with a ground-shaking thud. Galawain points his chipped flint dagger at you.
A victory that leaves her ruler of all. No room for conflict, no struggle, not even between the gods.
Be careful what you wish for, mortal. Woodica's ways are regressive. Her laws never change, her authority never ebbs, and she never forgets a slight.
Woodica would crush the Deerwood simply out of vengeance for the rebellion against Adir, her favorite. She would stamp out Animancers, Godslayers from the Saints' War, and anyone else she viewed as heretical or dangerous.
It'd be justice for the purges to see some of the persecutors face her wrath, but not the right kind of justice, not the kind that heals. I don't see why I should care.
Because your soul will be at her mercy, and already you know too much.
Woodica will not keep the pact. She will interfere with mortals the very way we have always avoided. Your development will no longer be in your own hands.
Stagnation. You will be caged and stunted.
Now I've got to find Theos.
And when you descend the pit to Sun in Shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the Burial Isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
You promised! You promised! They better help me. Beware the promises of a God Watcher. They are binding, but only in one direction. Oh. Wait, which direction? They promised me, so can they change their mind? Or are they bound to that oath promise? The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and eyeing you? Is that how you spell eyeing? Eyeing you with renewed interest, the bear sniffs at the ground next to your leg. One Stelgar skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Gawain hurls his knife between your feet, sinking it into its handle. He raises his empty hand.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the Deerwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beasts shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
So they're all gonna help me with their soul thingies. But they won't imbue me with their power. Galawain's hands fall and the growling pack lunges into the circle. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Terra Evron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beasts. Check.
Sure.
Alright, Remgrand. Oh god, I love that they're voice acting their own stuff. The Beast of Winter. I've seen its shape prowling the walls of many an ancient ruin. A man's emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. As a snowstorm gets closer, you see an oryx, as colossal and slow as a glacier. His shaggy white hair is matted with frost, but beneath it, ribs like a ship's frame protrude. A man, emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks, and his nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the whiteout. The oryx stop and stand before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surround it. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A crack in the ice, a fissure in a glacier. I showed you the frost-hewn breach that you might seal it, but you pried it wider for the sake of the Glom felon, whose souls I had not yet begun to hew away. For all things there is a season. You brought them to winter before their time.
But you're the god of infantry and entropy. I gave their souls entropy.
Entropy is chiseling ice and hammering wind. Generations of erosion